Kia ora and hello. I'm Chester for Earth Sciences New Zealand. This is our weekly catch-up with the MetService. So as always, we are joined by John Law from the MetService. Good afternoon to you, John.
Kia ora, Chester. Thanks again for having us on. It's always good to chat.
Yes, as always, and we have a lot of weather to talk about, so let's get straight into those watches and warnings and the thunderstorm threat for Friday ahead of the weekend.
Yeah, a real change as we head through towards the weekend. You can see on the chart there we've got those severe weather watches and those heavy rainfall warnings. Those eastern parts of the country, those western parts of the country, in towards places like northern Taranaki, seeing the rain as we head through the night time tonight. So Thursday night, that warning comes into force there. The rest of them starting off as we head through Friday. But it is a case of not just heavy rainfall, some really pretty impressive thunderstorms in the mix as well, especially on that western side of the country. And I always think about these thunderstorms as like that volume switch, turning up the chance of some intense bursts of rainfall, ramping up the wind speeds as well. Of course, bring that risk of thunder and lightning. So really something to watch out for as we head through Friday. But you can see we've got those severe weather warnings, heavy rainfall, particularly for those areas where the rain lingers longer. So we've got a front that's draped across the central parts of the country, pushing that rain in towards Taranaki. And you can imagine with all that rain coming in from the north, those areas north of the Monga really catching the heaviest rainfall. And then by the end of the day on Friday, that's when we see that next heavy rainfall warning kicking off in those eastern parts of the Bay of Plenty. That rain taking its time to clear away through the nighttime. And in the mix there, you've got those thunderstorms and those heavier bursts of rainfall and those stronger gusts of wind. And even for us in Wellington, we've got a strong wind. We've got a heavy rainfall watch as well. That rain taking its time to clear off, even as we head through into the very early hours of Saturday morning. So a pretty unsettled end to the week, I'd say.
Yeah, so there's a lot happening. So the timing of the thunderstorms, essentially, it goes from west to east, as often these lines of thunderstorms do. So you're saying New Plymouth, for example, you'll want to watch primarily morning to midday, then more like afternoon for places like Auckland over to the Bay of Plenty. Is that correct?
That's right. So the main risk is as we head through from the west and these bands of showers and potential thunderstorms moving west to east. So places like Taranaki, New Plymouth, the first to see those. And those coastal areas could be prone to some pretty strong winds as well. And then for areas like the Bay of Plenty, it's that second part of the day on Friday. Might even find for those far eastern areas up towards East Cape as well, and those far northern parts of Tairāwhiti, that risk still pushing through towards that first part of Saturday as well. So I think it's definitely one to watch as we head through tomorrow. Keep a close eye on those radar charts as we head through the daytime. And, of course, the MetService forecast. But, yeah, it can be a very, very busy day across the North Island. But for those areas in the South Island which haven't seen much rainfall, it's like Canterbury, we might catch some rain, but probably not huge totals. But I think perhaps late in the day in Canterbury, we might find a few spots of rain coming through there. But I think, the main emphasis is going to be those watches and warnings on the north side and those risks of thunderstorms down the western side.
Sure, a lot to watch in the weather. The primary driver, this front that's moving across with the thunderstorm threat for the North Island. Again, the South Island, hopefully we can get some rain over to Canterbury, and they certainly could use it, John. The long-range forecast, and, I'm going to start our model here. This is 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday, so you could see those deep purples there would be indicative of that convection. But it's not looking too flash into the weekend, but at least the severe weather threat is probably going to go down through the weekend, correct?
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. That Friday night into Saturday, hopefully seeing the worst, but you can see that band just pulling away out towards the east. Still a fair number of showers behind it. But I think really it's that Friday is going to be the busiest day, I think, for us in the office and for the folks across the top of the country.
Right. The severe weather forecasters will certainly be busy through Friday and perhaps early Saturday. And then once we get into the end of the weekend and looking ahead to the long range, there it is, John, over there on the left side of the screen. What you want to see, high pressure is moving towards the country.
Oh, nice. Well, back into what we've been seeing through most of May. But you'll see there that change in wind direction is really something to watch out for. We've got a really warm couple of nights coming up again through Friday night into Saturday and Saturday night into Sunday. But those are southerly winds back with us as we head through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. High pressure, nice dry. But I think we're going to find that temperatures are back down to what we'd normally see for the time of year. So cooler than it has been. And it's been so warm. I think that's going to be very noticeable for many of us as we head through towards the start of next week.
The main story with that high pressure building in as we are in that southerly flow is to rug up, right? We're going to have to prepare for some colder temperatures. It's certainly not going to be the coldest weather we've ever seen, John, but definitely a change from what we're having right now.
Exactly. That cold air coming up with the southerly winds and the nice clear skies, light winds. It's all the ingredients you're looking for that return of perhaps some frosty conditions. Of course, it's field days next week from about Wednesday onwards. So a lot of folks out in Waikato, keep an eye on those temperatures, those early morning starts. Classic Mystery Creek, frosty, foggy starts, not out of the question. But I think I'll take that rather than a wet time in the mud there.
I agree with that. Okay, so while we're at it, we're going to plug a couple things. One is, where do we get the latest watches and warnings? Because they could change between the time people watch this video and when we recorded this here on Thursday afternoon. So that first thing, where are those watches and warnings the latest for the viewers out there?
The best place to go for your watches and warnings on the MetService website, metservice.com. The team here will be updating those through the afternoon today, but also very early hours of the morning tomorrow. Always keep an eye on the forecast, or you can get them through the MetService app, and you can enable notifications to get updates to those watches and warnings straight to your phone as well.
All right. And if you want to get the latest on how the rest of June is looking, we've got the latest on our seasonal climate outlook that's available on the NIWA website. We're now Earth Sciences New Zealand, but if you just do a quick search for Earth Sciences New Zealand Seasonal Climate Outlook or NIWA Seasonal Climate Outlook, same result. You'll find it there. John Law from the Met Service, thanks for joining us this afternoon.